Hello again, Virgo. Dadhichi here with your month of April 2019. Brief synopsis of what's going on. You know, the placement of the karmic point, it's entered into here recently, is pretty significant. There are some astrologers I've heard of, and I've been doing my own researches into this, that make their predictions based purely on the movement of this body, the North and the South Node, which is not indicated here in the chart. So what does it all mean? This 11th house is very significant for you, especially when we look with the animated chart in a moment, the moon making its way into this 11th house of friendships, fulfillment of desires. Powerful friends are normally indicated by the movement of the North Node here into this 11th house. Unusual friends, people that have a slight quirk of nature. But first we'll see the transit of the moon into through the 7th house and into this new moon phase on the 6th. So we see a lot of activity in the first couple of days with your spouse, your lover, other people generally. There is a very strong idealism associated with your relationships right now, and matters of intimacy shown by the fact that the new moon takes place in this hidden 8th house of the horoscope. So relationships, intimacy, shared resources, and of course intimacy is the most, I guess, personal of the resources that you share, correct? Your sexual energies, not exactly bucks, but that is a form of shared resource. You are sharing your energies, and those moments belong to both of you. So that is an important transit this month. You also notice that it may not be easy opening up, or your partner opening up as a result of this square from Saturn ruling the 6th house. There may be problems at work, there may be health issues that are bothering your partner, but still you've got a favourable influence from Jupiter, one of the rulers of your spouse or partnerships sector here, making a nice aspect to this intimacy area. What does it mean? Again, challenges are there, but if you persist, if you're generous, and you're the giver, that can help open things up. The new moon, of course, indicates a new cycle in this area of your life, showing that you can resolve things, smooth things over, and deepen your relationships big time during this particular period. The sudden, abrupt transit of Uranus here. Uranus is abrupt in all its aspects, journeys, legal matters. This foreign connection is very, very strong. We see here that the 5th and 6th zones of your zodiac are ruled by Saturn, and it's in a favourable influence through this period of the 8th. So contacts with people overseas, journeys on account of your work may be indicated here by the transit of the moon. The other important transit occurs with this conjunction of the moon to Mars. Mars is moving strongly, forcefully in the upper part of your horoscope. When this planet moves here, when any planet moves into your 10th house of career, we notice that the sign of Gemini, which gives this dichotomous process, being in two minds, yes, no, up, down. It's really what we call a dual sign, which is why they say Gemini is two-faced, but it's not that simplistic. Here we see that you're driven in your work this month, and Mars spends a bit of time here for a while, and especially after the 10th. You have this challenging aspect from Venus, Neptune, and an earlier square to Mars here from Mercury, showing that you may be working hard, but is this precisely, especially what it is that you want? Is this the exact thing that you desire in life? You'll be asked to question that, and that, apart from the intimate nature of the new moon that we saw in the 8th house, the 8th house does have to do with the way you earn money, the way you deal with other people. So I would suspect that it is going to have an impact here on your professional activities and making up your mind over these things, that's for sure. Later in the month, around the 13th, 12th, 13th, there's that conjunction again. making the proper connections here to help you work through some of these earlier issues we were talking about important. The full moon is a specifically powerful one for you this month. Here you see just on the 19th, it moves into the opposition of not just the Sun, but Uranus. It takes place in your second house of finance. It actually moves to the third house. We would say that it is making an important balancing act between this finance and communication. It's not good here in a way because of the involvement in Uranus. It destabilizes what it is you're working towards. The moon itself is also fluctuating even though it's full, but it does throw a full light on this area of your finances. This second house of the zodiac, in your case, the sign of Libra, is an indecisive sign for a start. So when you've got this changeable moon, full moon at that, bringing the energies of Uranus here, it can indicate you've got a lot more planning to work through. Notice also Mercury at this time is moving into your 8th house of shared resources again. So I think this has a lot to do with money at this point of your cycle. And then a bit more good fortune associated with your domestic sphere. Moon and Jupiter in conjunction here, notwithstanding the opposition from Mars. Now, sometimes you have to look at whether the planets are friendly or not. These three planets are actually friendly to each other, Moon, Mars and Jupiter. There's a challenge. I guess it's like friendly sport with an opponent. Here, this to me would simply imply a division of loyalties between the effort you're putting into your work and the softer, generous latitude you want to afford your family. Notice also Jupiter's gone into a retrograde motion. It relates to your spouse. So a lot of family issues will come up here towards the last few days of the month. Children, the mind is depressed a little when the moon transits Saturn, so you'll be a lot more serious here, thinking about children, romantic affairs, speculative matters, and then in the last couple of days of the month, the working arena shown by the 6th house move of the moon, finishing up back there to what I think is the theme of the month of making decisions that are clear-cut, that can only be done through thinking through more carefully what it is you actually want, Virgo. Take care. Come back next month. We're going to have more on what's going on in your life. And in the meantime, take a look at the yearly and monthly detailed readings for you at astrology.com.au, my website. By all means, subscribe. Drop me a note here if you've got any questions. I love hearing from all of you. It's great to see that some of you are getting some value out of what is being said here. Bye-bye for now.